Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to start our debate partner project of Speaking for Academic Age class. The motion for today's topic is the idolization of individuals who achieved success without going through traditional education, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and etc. For the chairman, time is yours.
Now let me introduce the four teams and the adjudicators. As the opening government, we have Aretha Naura and Aurelia Sabrina Taufik. As for the opening opposition, we have Shafara Azahra and Ristika Melia Dewi. As for the closing government, we have Nanda Septi and Ken Dwi. And as for the closing opposition, we have Rahmatus Nur Azizah and Afnisa Salma. Next, as for the adjudicator, we have Alfian Ferrari, Azmi Zainur Rahma, Dinda Permatahati, and Yohan Akbar Yudhistira. Alright, without further ado, Prime Minister, the time is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate today is this House regrets the idolization of individuals who achieve success without going through traditional education, like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. We define the topic as disagreement over the clearly wrongdoing of misrepresenting the educational background of influential people such as Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, who do not accept conventional education as precept. The reason why I am giving this speech is to lower the potential gap of people for not being educated. Today, as this first speaker, I am going to discuss 2 points. My first point is how education empowers youth to achieve sustainable development. Education and development aim to develop learners' competences and skills to be able to build knowledge, network in informal as well as formal education. Therefore, human capital is the power of sustainable development that improves the quality of life and boosts the economic growth. Furthermore, the quality of the educational system in any country identifies its future where the sources of sustainable development is the educated youth who restraining the empowerment. Education as the path leader of the youth. It is with the help of education that the youth can choose and seek their interests. They choose their ways and direction of lives. They set goals for themselves and strive to achieve them. Education propels the youth in the right, proper, and straight direction. Now, to my second point is why education is the key to success. The first reason is it helps to make the world a better place. As you gain your education, you will be gaining a deeper understanding of what's right, wrong, fair, and unfair. As you develop your reasoning and critical thinking skills, you'll be able to apply these skills to situations in your life. You'll be aware of your rights and responsibilities as a citizen. You make more balanced personal judgment, and over time you will apply this society and help to make the world a better place. Now, the second reason is education allows you to turn your dreams into a reality. When Mark Zuckerberg was at college, he dreamed of a more connected society, invented Facebook, and the rest is just history. But even if any of you don't even invent a website that will change the world, college can connect you with the chance to live your dream. If a higher salary is on your wish list, you're in luck. According to the American Institute for Economic Research, college graduates aged 25 to 32 earn $17,000 more each year than those who did not go to college, and 72% of millennials of the same age say their degree has already paid off. The last reason is education gives you increased earning power. So this is strong because a recent study from Georgetown University found that on average, college graduates earn million more in earnings over their lifetime. Another study by the Pew Research Center found that the median yearly income gap between high school and college graduates is around $17,500. And of course, if you're paying back student loans, not all of this will be profit. But studying with a tuition-free university, you can forego this problem, as you won't have to borrow money to pay for your tuition as you learn. There are also many scholarships available to cover the minimal assessment fees. So, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, education is a mind-expanding gift that can be broaden your horizons and enrich your life. But there are other pertinent reasons for getting an education too. It can really help you break into new industries, be taken seriously, and boost your overall confidence. Long days studying can be really tough, but you will learn a lot of life enhancing, transferable skills in between the assignments that will be with you forever. We are really proud to deliver. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Aretha, for the amazing speech. Now, calling on Shafara, you may start your speech.
Okay, thank you, Asmi. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, our motion debate today is that this House regret the idolization of individuals whom achieve success without going through traditional education. However, we, the opposition side, disagree with the statement. Although this motion seems like a negative thing to be agreed on, but we, the opposition side, are looking through the positive sides of being success without going through traditional education. As leader of opposition, I will first state my arguments. Ladies and gentlemen, why it is not a bad thing to idolize people who can be successful without getting a proper education? First, nowadays, getting a proper education can be a hard thing to achieve for several unfortunate people. But by implementing the spirits of less educated successful people can boost their confidence of achieving their dreams. In this case, we can prove this by the fact that Mrs. Susi Pujastuti can be one of the minister of Indonesia even though she did not get a degree and her latest education was just high school graduate. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Susi is also very proud of her achievement and proved that it is not necessary to be enrolled in higher education. And as we all know, that she is one of the best minister and a very smart one. Then I would like to rebut Aretha's second point about education is a key to success. And ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered why or how a high school graduate can be a minister or also a successful entrepreneur? Ladies and gentlemen, basically, it is the intelligence of Mrs. Susi Pujastuti that makes everyone adores her, which leads into my second argument and my rebuttal about Aretha's second point that education is a key to success, which it is the brain, the intelligence, and the skills that you have that define who you are and who you became, in which those things can be achieved from a lot of other places and things, not only from college or university. By this, I mean that knowledge can be obtained from everywhere, such as books and experience and etc. And skills can be refined by practice, courses, and many other things if you are willing to seek for them. So I don't think that education is the only key to success. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the data from UNESCO and based on the facts on the ground that the high unemployment rate in Indonesia is caused by the lack of opportunities to develop, inability to compete, and lack of skills, which are the main reasons why I said my arguments before. And then, ladies and gentlemen, although people enrolled in university or college, there is no guarantee of being successful. In fact, a lot of fresh undergraduate becomes unemployed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is stated by the data from UN shows that 40% of the unemployed in the world are young people. And in Indonesia itself, the International Labor Organization, or ELO, states that 50% of the unemployed are the new graduates. Then I would like to state about the Prime Minister arguments. The Prime Minister state that about why education is important and not why the House regret the idolization of success people or individual without going through traditional education. I think she is lacking the argument about the main motion itself. So why the House regret the idolization of successful individuals without stating their clear arguments, and instead they're talking about general education, such as tuition, scholarships, and how to get education. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I stated that my team are okay with idolizing people with less proper education as a motivation for those who can't obtain higher education, and give another perspective that not all key to success can be obtained in college or university. I'll be proud to oppose. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Shafara, for the excellent speech. Now, calling on Aurelia, you may start your speech.
Okay, hello? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, wait, wait. Let me set the timer first. Okay, I'm gonna start my speech in 3, 2. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so before I deliver my argument, I would like to rebut some of the opposition's arguments. So first of all, um, the opposition stated that knowledge can be obtained from anywhere. So basically, the first step of education is we we must we must follow the traditional education. Okay, so not we know that knowledge can be obtained from anywhere, but it is still pivotal. It is still important to gain knowledge from the traditional education. And indeed, we must stick to the motion as well. So the motion for today is this house regards the idolization of individuals who achieve success without going through traditional education, such as Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. So now I would like to deliver new arguments regarding to this motion to defend our case. So first of all, the reason why we mustn't idolization these individuals is because first of all, idolization has meaning that uh, like admiring strongly of those people. So we would see them like everything that they do is right, and it's something that we should follow. Like there's a lot of quotes saying that yeah, Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg is was were college dropouts. Okay, but we may know that even though they are dropouts, they already had a big life before that. Like they both of those people have their names. Like they are Bill Gates, they are Mark Zuckerberg. They came uh, from a wealth family, as we may know, like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. And that's why I think that we think that those people could gain success without going to traditional education. Maybe it's fine with them because they have this privilege. They can like obtain it easily. They can become a businessman. They can become an entrepreneur easily without having to go without having to follow a traditional education, like a proper education, because they could still gain knowledge from uh, outside of outside of those things. But we must remember that they have this privilege for themselves. Okay, they have their privilege. And now also let me explain to you why, like just like what my prime minister already said about education. Indeed, education is very pivotal, and it's also like to introduce us uh, to as to for us to face the workplace or the work life. So we need education. Maybe people could say that uh, education. Okay, just like what the O already said, knowledge can be obtained from anywhere. Okay, but did they know that the main thing, like we must follow the education through like traditional education, like school. Okay, like do you know what traditional education means? Like it's yeah, it's basically from school and college and those kind of things. Okay, so it is something that it is our obligation, and it's also our rights, but it's very pivotal, it's very important for to us for follow uh the traditional education, the education, so that we could uh prepare ourselves for our future, for our workplace, work life, and if we may know that education is also something that is important for us to survive in. And the question is how to bridge the idolizations of individuals. Okay, so uh, it may seems like n- seeing like what and seeing and looking for those individuals with big names like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, which they are successful because of yeah, because they have their own way, they pave their own way. Okay, I think it's not necessarily for us to idolize these kind of figures. Okay, maybe we could use them as a motivations. Okay, we just have to use them as a motivation, like oh we see them like oh they are dropouts, but they could make it. Like yeah, I mean like just use that as motivation. So like we see them like oh okay, maybe I have to do better, I have to do better than them. Okay, I mean my parents give me uh education support, so I must do it, so I must be better than them, those dropouts or something like that. So we must like use them as a motivation, not as something that we must follow. Like oh okay, I mean like I can be success without like without without having to study well, or what is like even though like college ditch me, okay, I don't care, maybe I could be success as them. It just would make us lazy and would give us like this horrible mindset. Okay, it would set us like to become a lazy person, or so on. Okay, and that's actually the main reason. Okay, that's why we should idolize these individuals. Okay, okay, because
One minute.
all in all, we don't need education to success, to be success to be success, like to support us to be successful. Okay, even more successful than these people. So I'm here to propose. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Aurel, for the amazing speech. Now, calling on Rizky, you may start your speech.
Thank you very much. I want to emphasize the fact that the idolization of individuals who achieve success without going through traditional education is often misinterpreted. Let's take an example from the multi-billionaire Bill Gates, as he has dropped out of college. Most of people would see the people who idolize these people in a negative way because they used to think that the people wanted to feel free from the task or the burden of enrolling college. But this isn't true at all. If you idolize something, you would have seen the good side of what you wanted to follow. People who idolize this, people who have dropped out from college, must have seen this from the positive side. We all know that not all people could afford a higher education, but also not all of people are comfortable with what they are studying or enrolling right now. Maybe they have another vision in their minds, or they have found something that they are really fond of, and it is okay to leave what is not your passion behind and pursue what you really wanted to do. Taking example from some of the billionaires that has a record of dropping out of college. Let's just name Bill Gates. I'd like to rebut Aurel's statement that Mark and Bill Gates come from a wealthy family and they could gain success without even studying from a formal education. We should know that Bill Gates, when he was a child, he is known to be a bookworm and he likes to read science books. When he is in high school, he excelled math and science. Gates spent more of his time in the computer lab than in class. He did not really have a study regimen. He got by on a few hours of sleep, crammed for a test, and passed with a reasonable grade. Because of it, he spent no more wasting time attending college, doing things he already excelled in. Instead, he took a path which could challenge him personally. It is known that Gates is a fond of technology and programming since he was a kid. Later on, he dropped out from the most prestigious university, which is Harvard University. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard 2 years into his college education to start Microsoft, the business that would make him a billionaire by the age of 26. This is a proof that he dropped out of college is the best decision that he have ever made. Explaining it more, Bill Gates knew that he has the skill and knowledge needed to start up his own project, which are known as Microsoft, and it has made him the fourth most rich people in the world. This stated that Bill Gates did not drop out without any reason. And idolizing him means that you're looking up to the fact that he is such a diligent and a hardworking person. Again, repeating Aurel's statement, him being well off doesn't add up the fact that he could apply to any college he wanted or getting additional lesson. But he know that he could make something even greater when he is not bounded by having to enroll in higher education. As I have stated before, those are the positive way of seeing the motion. Therefore, I see no liability in idolization of individuals who achieve success without going through traditional education. Thank you.
All right, Rizky, thank you for the excellent speech. Now, calling on Nanda, you may start your speech.
I believe that education is important. Like in Japan, they focus on education because they want to make an innovation for the world. Education in school also gives impacts to the children because they can learn with the rules in school so they can be disciplined. Traditional school help they be a good generation for the future because they have an experience to solve problems, discussing, and to be more sociable.
Thank you, Nanda, for excellent speech. Now, calling on Azizah, you may start your speech.
So thank you the for the speech, Miss Nanda, or closing government. So you state that we can learn to be disciplined and we can be people with good personality if we enter the traditional education. But in my opinion, we can I'm sorry, we can learn all of that from anywhere. Like there's a lot of people who have a good degree but still have a bad personality. Like they are being a senior who is very bad for their junior, and like they will be superior in the office. And there's a lot of experience that we cannot get it from education. That's why I think idol idealization from individuals who achieve success without going through traditional education is not that bad, because just let them do what they want to do. Like Bill Gates want to focus on their windows, and yeah, just let them do what they want to do. And as a student, we know that we get a lot of text assignment from the university, and it make us like exhausted, and we cannot do what we want to do because there's a lot of thing that is from come from traditional education. And I think for the point like they can do socialize in the traditional education, like all of people can do that even though they are not going to the college. And I think that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your amazing speech. Now calling on Ken, you may start your speech.
Thank you. As a government whip, it's my heart and privilege to sum up the analysis of the whole road on the motion. Uh, the debate so far have come down to focus on the major issue, uh, the idolization of individual who achieve success without going through traditional education. So far from the opposition says that the Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg can obtain a high achievement because of their knowledge since they kids. But I think it is also important to have traditional knowledge when we still young, because without the traditional knowledge we can we can know about the rule of the environment, and also it's useful to being more to be more knowledgeable. So uh, for all the reasons.
All right, thank you, Ken, for the amazing speech. Now calling on Afni, you may start your speech.
The government only focused with that traditional school is the only way to get success or way to get people through. They forget that successful can be reached without school too. They said that people that success without school is a privileged people. But let's take a look on ex-Indonesian Marine Minister Suci Pujiastuti. She even didn't finish her high school, but now she has an aviation company and she can be an Indonesian minister too. They forget that the reality isn't something that can be realized in school. Why? Because in school we don't talk to be we don't talk things like how make money or how to solve problems in life. Their arguments are too weak to prove that traditional school can make a better person.
All right, thank you, Afni, for your amazing speech. Now it is the time for the adjudicators to give rankings. All right, now the adjudicators would announce the result of the debate. The first adjudicator would be me. I will start my adjudication. So the first place goes to OO with the score 79. The second place goes to CO with the score 77. And then the third place goes to OG with the score 76. Plus the fourth place goes to CG with the score 74. Here are my reasonings. So in the first place, we have OO. OO succeeded to give rebuttal in OG's statement. Education is the key of success. They also succeed to point out that OGs failed to set up the debate at first. OO also states that we can idolize Bill Gates or Mark in positive way by giving relevant explanation. They also succeed in refute OG statement that Mark and Bill come from a wealthy family and it is fine for them to not join the formal education. Moving on the second place, we have CO. CO gives rebuttal in CG's statement that we can learn to be disciplined and having good personality by going to formal education. They give relevant reason to support their reputation. CO also emphasized OO's idea that idolizing Mark or Bill Gates is not that bad. However, I think that they need more supporting details in this part. Next, in the third place, we have OG. I think that OG failed to set up the debate well. At the beginning, the Prime Minister states that education is key of success. Actually, they elaborate their reason well. However, she is too focused on this part and could not deliver her idea against the idolizing of individuals who achieve success without going through traditional education, such as Bill Gates. However, the deputy of prime minister could deliver their idea well about why we must not idolizing those who achieve success through traditional education. She states that they already have privilege, so it will be fine for them even if they do not join traditional education. Then, in the fourth place, we have CG. CG emphasized OG's statement about how education is important. They give sufficient reason, but I think they need to give more ideas. They did not present new arguments or another deeper analysis. That's all from me. Thank you. And the second adjudicator would be Dinda. You may start your adjudication.
So yeah, for my assessment, the first position is going to opening up position. And the scoring is for leader of opposition is 76. Deputy leader of opposition is 76 also. The second place is opening government. The prime minister is 75 and deputy prime minister is also 75. For the third place, we have closing opposition with score of member of opposition 74 and opposition whip is 73. And the fourth place we have closing government. The member of government score is 74 and government whip is 73. So here are the reasons. For the opening opposition, they believe that traditional education does not determine a person's future success. The most important key to being successful is the expertise and skills of a person. Knowledge can be obtained from many sources, so it's not only from an educational institution. The opinion expressed by opening opposition were strong enough to support their arguments, which that success is not determined by formal education. For opening government, they emphasize the arguments on the importance of education in society to build knowledge and self-development nowadays. They also believe that education is the key to success, therefore it would help the world to develop into a better place. Opening government gave some examples of the substantial factor for being an educated person. The second person of opening government's example did not give the supporting arguments that referred to the previous one. She tended to support the opening opposition arguments, which stated that education does not determine someone's future. For closing opposition, They have given some of their arguments, but they not have rich sources to support their arguments. Therefore, I give them the third position. For the last team, closing government, their arguments were not strong enough to refute the closing opposition team. It was also less correlated with the arguments presented by the previous team. The material presented was not broad and was not supported by the reality on the ground. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dinda, for your adjudication. The third adjudicator would be Alfian. You may start your adjudication.
Okay. Well, according to my versions, the first place is um, the opening oppositions, and the second place is the closing oppositions. The third place is the opening government, and the fourth place is the closing government. And the reason for my version is for the first place, the opening oppositions. They are expresses a fairly strong opinion with proven and accurate example. Their strongest argument, in my opinion, is that knowledge can be obtained from anywhere, and not everyone is lucky to be able to attend school or any traditional education institutions. They also revealed that there would be no problem if we idolize someone who dropped out from education from school or university and achieve success like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, because when we idolize someone, surely we will imitate the good things they did to achieve their success, not the bad things that will destroy their career. For the second place is the CO or closing oppositions. They sustain they substantiated the argument by idolizing someone like Bill Gates or the other one who did not continue their educations and choose to be successful in their own way, which is better and permissible than following traditional education. They stated that success without a high education degree has been proven a lot, such as the example of the Indonesian Minister of Fisheries and Marine Affairs, Susi Pujiastuti, who only had elementary school educations. According to them, they also stated that they do not agree with CG, the closing government, if we can get good personality and attitude from traditional educations. In fact, there are many people who have higher education degrees but have bad attitudes and behaviors. And it is sometimes people with low educations is more uh, polite and have a good attitudes than they are the one who have higher education degrees. And for the third place, the opening government, they are quite good at explaining why we shouldn't idolize someone who has dropped out of educations such as school and university. They describe that someone will imitate whatever that person does, such as dropping out of college and school because they idolize someone like that, and but they don't give what it say strong opinion about why we shouldn't idolize someone who drop out from the educations such as school and university and get their success in their own way. The fourth place for closing government, they adequately describe the advantages of traditional education, such as meeting wise people and others. But in my opinion, they lack of a strong argument for why traditional education is better than following the path of successful by our own way and by the like Bill Gates or someone with low education degree, someone without higher education degrees, like yeah, that the one I mentioned, Bill Gates. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfian, for your education. Now, the last adjudicator would be Yohan. You may start your education.
Bisa
Thank you,
BTW. Iki bakal end di 40 menit. Jadi kita masih punya waktu sekitar 7 menit. Jadi
Iya, cepat sedikit.
iya, oke.
Aku nggak lanjutnya gue aku dulu.
Iya, wes. Pokok 40 lek gak ngono gawe rumane. Soalnya ki terakhir
Sedilu kok, Yul. Yul. Sediluan. Sumpah sedilu. Cuma skor.
Oke.
And for the score is for the first place, the score is 85, and for the second place is 78, and the third place have 74, and the last one, the fourth place, has scored 69. That's all from me. Thank you.
6 menit.
Ayo.
Ngomong mana? Alright, thank you, Alfian, for your education.
Asa nggak usah langsung asli Yohan aja.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Asmi. I'm going to give my scoring and reason about my adjudication. So the first place is opening opposition with 79, and the second place is closing opposition with the 77, and the third is the opening government with 76, and the last place is closing government with 75. So the reason why I choose the opening opposition as the first place is they can express such a strong opinion. They give a strong and clear insight about their point of view. They also explain the exact cases from people that have been through this kind of thing, which is great. They provide their opinion with proven and accurate examples. Their argument is that knowledge can be obtained from anywhere, and they also mention that not everyone is lucky to be able to attend school, which is true. Moreover, they have a good understanding about the topic. They think that idolizing Mark or Bill doesn't mean we can imitate all their paths. Surely we have to imitate the good things they did to achieve their success, not the bad things, because everyone has their own path to success. So the reason for the second place closing opposition, they sustain the argument by idolizing someone like Bill Gates and Mark, who did not continue their education and choose to be successful in their own way, which is better and permissible than following traditional education. They state that success without an education degree has been proven a lot, such as the example of Indonesian minister Susi Pujiastuti, like mentioned before, who only had an elementary education. They have unpredictable logic and argument, but it is understandable by looking the path from people that truly genius. And I think they state their opinion really well. And the third place, opening government, they have straightaway point of view. When they state their opinion, which is good, they're also good at explaining. We shouldn't idolize someone who drop out from education. They describe that someone will imitate whatever the person does, such as dropping out of college school because they idolize that person too much. Because people just know the result of the thing, and they know about the process. I think journey and process is the most important thing. So the fourth is closing government. They have reasonable and ethical point of view, and I think generally speaking, they lack a strong argument for why traditional education is better than following the path of successful people without higher education degrees like Bill Gates or Mark. And to be frank, they describe the advantages of traditional education, such as meeting wise people and other pretty clear. They can improve and widen the argument a little more. And that's all from me. Thank you.
So we are now at the end of the agenda. I would like to thank all the debaters and adjudicators who have participated in this discussion. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.